In today's video, we shall be looking at different questions, CISI questions from different CISI qualifications. These questions are available free of charge on our e-learning portal, open for free to CISI students. If you would like access to it, just send me a WhatsApp on the mobile you see at the below of the screen, and I will reply with the username and password for you. So let's begin. Trap number one, the double negatives. So this is a question that has two negatives in it. So basically meaning positive. Here's a quick example. Which of the following is not a reason why an investor might avoid property investments? So let's break the question down. Not a reason, this is the first negative. Why an investor might avoid. Avoid also means not invest in property. So not and another not basically cancel each other. So this means the question is actually asking you for which of the following is a reason why an investor might invest in property. Now the question is clearer and very easy. A, it can be illiquid. This is a disadvantage. So no, that's not a reason why we can invest in property. High transaction cost, another disadvantage, so no. Long downturn periods, yet another disadvantage, so that's not a reason why we might invest in property. D, it is tangible, that means you can touch it. So D is a reason why we might invest in property. So by canceling the two negatives, we are now able to actually understand the question clearer and catch the right answer. Let's look at the second trap. The second trap is the long and complicated question, and you are very, very likely to get a few of these in an exam. And to be honest, I think that the whole reason why CISI gives you such long and complicated questions is just for you to panic. In the end, these can be one of the easiest questions you can answer in the exam. So let's look at this question. Those of you who are inexperienced, the moment you see this question, you've already started to panic. But as you will find out, this is probably an extremely easy question for you to answer. Let's go through it quickly. Jackie is a new private client investor, and you ascertain that her investment objective and risk tolerance are capital growth and cautious. So she is a risk-averse investor. She doesn't like risk. During the meeting, she asks you for your thoughts on the use of derivatives. Let me stop here. For those of you who have covered basically most CISI qualifications that are required here in the Middle East, which is the introduction or the risk qualification or the wealth management or any other ones, you must have learned that derivatives are the highest risk assets. Basically, it starts with deposit, the safest, money markets, bonds, equities, and then derivatives. Derivatives are the highest risk investments available in the market. So let's look at the question. You respond that, in your opinion, derivatives, so that's the question. It's the last three words. Your opinion, derivatives. What is in your opinion? Derivatives are what? Derivatives are high risk investments. So let's look at answer A. A, are normally appropriate only where there is a high risk tolerance. There it is. So easy. The actual question is the last three words. In your opinion, what are derivatives? If you look from the very first answer, they are normally appropriate where you have high risk tolerance. You can quickly, once you stop panicking and break down the answer, you'll find out that it's actually one of the simplest questions that CISI might give you. Whenever you get long and complicated questions, don't worry. Most likely it's a very, very easy one. Just read through it, look at the answers, you are most likely to answer it correctly from the first attempt. Let's look at the third trap, and that is the single word mistake, and this is the most difficult trap to catch. Basically, in this type of questions, you will get A, B, C, D, the answers like you usually do, and then most answers might seem correct, and you're trying to find the right answer, but they're all very similar. You'll find out later that actually there was one word in one of the answers that just ruined the whole answer. Let me give you an example quickly. Which of the following statements is not a fiduciary responsibility for a regulated financial advisor? This is from the ICWIM qualification. So which of the following is not a fiduciary responsibility? Fiduciary stands for trust. Fiduciary responsibility is the responsibility of an advisor towards their client. The relationship between an advisor and a client is called a fiduciary relationship. A, act in the utmost good faith for his client. This is a responsibility. B, not make a profit from the trust placed in him. Also a responsibility. C, not place himself in a position where his own interest conflict with his duty to the firm. Now, this is where most students fall, because C, at first glance, looks like the right answer. And there is no problem here, because yes, an advisor should not put himself in a position where his own interest conflict with his duty to the firm. Basic stuff. But remember, what is the question asking you about? The question is asking you about your fiduciary responsibility, which is your relationship with your client and not relationship with the company. So even though C makes sense, is a logical answer, it is not the right answer for this question. Why? Because of the last word here. Your duty to the firm. The right answer should be not place himself in a position where his own interest conflict with his duty to the client. So by just changing the last word, basically C is the wrong. C is not a responsibility for the financial advisor. So which of the following statements is not a fiduciary responsibility? It's C. Why? Because fiduciary means your relationship with your client, not with your company. See, just the last word in the answer ruined the whole answer. That's the third trap. And the fourth trap, the opposite answers. The fourth trap is more of a strategy than a trap. So basically some questions, some answers in CISI, A, B, C, and D, A and B or B and C or C and D can be two opposite answers. If you find yourself clueless, that means you have no idea what the answer might be, this strategy might help you to basically narrow down your answers. Let me give you an example. Which of the following is not associated with a sharp rise in money supply? So which of the following is false about a rise in money supply? A, increase in spending. B, increase in interest rates. C, increase in inflation. D, decrease in inflation. Now, even though this is a simple question, you should be able to answer it. Let's assume that you have no idea what is the answer here. Using this strategy, you notice that C and D are two opposite answers. Now, this doesn't work all the time, but if you are tight for time and you have no idea what the answer is, you can use this strategy to narrow down your answers. So automatically here we can just remove A and B and then concentrate on C and D, because these are two opposites and it's very likely that one of them is the answer. This makes things a lot easier for you. So which of the following is not associated with a sharp rise in money supply? A sharp rise in money supply means the central bank has pumped cash, money into the economy. That means banks, companies, individuals, everybody in the economy now has more money in their hands. When everybody in the country has more money, what do you think they're going to do with that money? They're going to spend it. Everybody will go around buying property, buying cars, shopping in the malls. And when we spend more money by buying stuff, what's going to happen? Inflation. Prices are going to go up because people are spending. Why are they spending? Because they have more money. So, with a sharp rise in money supply, there will be an increase in inflation. So, what is the answer here? The answer is D, because the question is asking you which of the following is not associated with a sharp rise in money supply. D, a decrease in inflation is not associated with a sharp rise in money supply. So by using the idea of opposite answers, we were able to narrow down our answers and choose the right one.